My expense reimbursement form is gone. I lost it. Kai Vong, the chief financial officer, said it calmly, as if she were just announcing that the weather was nice today. I stared at her. 300 days of business travel. 470,000 in advances. 86 flight tickets. 194 hotel invoices. Every single one of them was saved in my phone album, sorted by date. Gone. I gave a dry smile. Fine. Kai Vong looked momentarily stunned. She had expected me to panic. The conference room was freezing from the air conditioning. I sat at the far end of the long table. Across from me were the HR manager, Kai Lee, and my direct superior, the company's CEO. Trong. 2. Trong began, his tone light, almost conversational. The company is undergoing restructuring. You know that. He paused. This round of layoffs includes you. I stayed silent. Of course, it's not because of your performance. He added quickly, it's just a position adjustment. We had no choice. Kai Lee slid a stack of papers toward me. This is the termination agreement. Take a look. If everything's fine, sign here. I lowered my eyes and glanced at it. Mutual agreement to terminate employment. Compensation. How much? I asked. You've worked 3 years, Kai Lee said, so 3 months' salary. The company is being very sincere. 3 years. A number suddenly surfaced in my mind. 300 days. In the past 3 years, I had been on business trips for 300 days. I won't sign this. And what about my travel expenses? I asked. Kai Lee and Trong exchanged a glance. What travel expenses? Trong asked. The business travel costs I advanced myself. I said, 470,000. The room went silent for 2 seconds. That's something you should handle with finance. Trong said, it's not within our scope. I already did, I replied. Kai Vong said, the invoices were lost. Trong frowned. Then submit them again. Submit what? The invoices, obviously. Kai Lee cut in. Without invoices, how can finance reimburse you? You know the process. I have copies, I said. Both of them turned to look at me. Every flight ticket, hotel invoice, and meal receipt, I photographed all of them and saved them by date. 300 days, not a single day missing. Kai Lee's face stiffened slightly. Trong cleared his throat. That's good. Then submit them again to finance for verification. Verify what? I asked. I submitted these last year. Finance said the system was upgraded and the data was lost. So I resubmitted. Then this year they said the invoices weren't compliant and asked me to reattach them. I did. Now you're telling me they're lost again. Trong fell silent. Trong, I said, looking straight at him. I want to ask you one question. Is this 470,000 something the company doesn't want to pay, or something it can't pay? His expression darkened. 2. That's not an appropriate way to put it. He said, the company never withholds employees' money. But everything must follow procedure. You should understand. I understand, I nodded. Then I'll follow procedure too. I stood up, picked up the termination agreement, then placed it back on the table. I won't sign this. I turned and walked out. Back at my desk, I started packing. My phone screen lit up. A message from my mother. Are you coming home for dinner tonight? I typed, working overtime. Won't be home. Then deleted it and changed it to, I'll be home. There was no need for overtime today. I had packed about half my things when Tiu Lam from the next desk leaned over. Sister too, you got laid off too? Yeah. I figured, he whispered, they've been letting a lot of people go. Did you know old Chu from sales got cut too? 8 years in the company. I didn't respond. I heard your travel expenses haven't been reimbursed, he asked. Yeah. That's over 400,000. He inhaled sharply. My God, you paid all that out of pocket? If I didn't, the trips wouldn't happen, I said. Internal approvals were slow, clients don't wait. That's really vicious of the company. Before he could finish, Trong walked out of the conference room. Tiu Lam immediately shrank back to his screen. I kept packing. 3 years didn't leave behind much. A mug, a few notebooks, a peace lily that was nearly dead. The laptop belonged to the company. I couldn't take it. I opened my email and forwarded everything important to my personal account, travel requests. reimbursement forms, project reports, client correspondence. I took screenshots of each one. At 8 p.m., I got home. My mother was busy in the kitchen. My father sat watching TV in the living room. "You're home early today," my mother said. "Not busy? That's good. You're always traveling for work. Look how thin you've gotten." I said nothing. During dinner, my mother started again. "Look at Aunt Lee's daughter. Found a boyfriend at a bank. Stable job, regular hours. I was laid off today," I said. The chopsticks froze. My father set down his glass and looked at me. "Laid off? How? Didn't you do really well? Your boss even praised you." "They cut my position during restructuring." "What about social insurance? Housing fund?" My mother panicked. "The mortgage, can you still pay it?" "I can," I said. "I have savings." "How much could you have saved?" she pressed. "You only make a little over $10,000 a month. And you're paying the mortgage." "I can handle it." I put down my chopsticks, went to my room, and closed the door. I lay flat on the bed. There was a water stain on the ceiling. I didn't know how long it had been there. 3 years. I had worked at that company for 3 years. The first year, the project I led landed the company's biggest client, $8 million in revenue. The second year, I flew to 18 cities alone, met 47 clients, and spent 187 days on business trips. The third year, I signed contracts accounting for 60% of the company's annual revenue. I also received the lowest year-end bonus. My boss had said, "2. Your performance is great, but you're still new. Stabilize first. Next year, we'll definitely raise it." Next year, I was laid off. I opened my phone album and tapped the folder labeled invoices. Everything was neatly sorted by date. May 3, 2022, Shanghai to Beijing. Flight ticket, 1.280. May 5, 2022, Beijing Hotel, room, 348. May 4, 2022, client dinner, 689. I kept scrolling. Until May 1, 2023. New Year's Day. I was on a business trip in Zhengzhou. A client suddenly wanted a meeting. My flight was cancelled, no hotel rooms left. I finally found a cheap hotel, $129 per night. I remembered it clearly. That night, I ate instant noodles in the room, watched fireworks outside, and sent a New Year's message to the client. The client sent me a red envelope, $188. I didn't accept it. I thought that once the company reimbursed me, all of this would be trivial. Now, thinking back, I realized how stupid I had been. I put the phone down and closed my eyes. 470.000. I would get that money back. At 9 a.m. the next morning, I arrived at the company on time. The receptionist stiffened when she saw me. "Sister 2, you're still coming to work?" "To hand things over," I said. She nodded and said nothing more. I scanned in and went straight to finance. The third floor belonged entirely to them. I pushed the door open. Only a few people were inside. Kai Vong's desk was by the window at the back. "2, she said, looking surprised. "You haven't resigned yet? I want to confirm my reimbursement records." She sighed and stood up. "Come with me to the archives." The archive room was at the end of the hallway, packed with filing cabinets. She rummaged through one and pulled out a file. "These are your reimbursement records. You submitted 3 times last year. March, 72.000. August, 115.000. December, 98.000. Total, 285.000. There's still 185.000 not submitted," I said. She paused. "Why wasn't it submitted?" "Every time I submitted, finance said something was missing. I supplemented it. Then you said the invoices were invalid and needed reattachment. I reattached them. Then you said the system upgrade stalled approvals and to wait another month." I looked at her. I waited a full year and received nothing. So I decided to bundle everything and submit it all at once. She said nothing. "Kai Vong," I asked, "has the 285.000 actually been paid?" "Yes." "Then where is the money?" "It's in process." "How long has it been in process?" "I need to check the system." "Can you check now?" She hesitated, then walked to the computer and typed. The screen lit up. She stared at it for a few seconds. Her expression changed. What is it? I asked. The April submission was approved. Then where's the money? Silence. I stepped closer. On the screen. BX20233171. Amount. 72.348.50. Status. Approved. Payment status. Paid. Payment date. December 12, 2023. I stared at the words paid for 10 seconds. Which account was it transferred to? I asked. She opened the payment details. Recipient. Lee, redacted. Bank branch 20. Whose account is that? I asked. Her hands began to tremble. I don't know. I really don't. Isn't it yours? She asked weakly. My last name is too. I said. That account belongs to someone named Lee. The accounting office fell completely silent. At noon, I received a call from Kai Lee, the HR manager. 2, she said, come by the conference room at 2 this afternoon. What's this about? It's about your reimbursement issue. She hesitated. Trong will be there too. I hung up and went to the cafeteria, barely touching my food. At the table next to me were a few people from sales. When they saw me, they whispered to each other, then pretended not to notice. I understood. Someone who had been laid off carried bad luck with them. No one wanted to get splashed by it. At 2 in the afternoon, in the conference room, Trong, Kai Lee, and Kai Vong sat in a row. 2. Have a seat, Trong said. We called you here today to clarify the reimbursement situation. I sat down. Kai Vong reviewed the records again this morning. Trong continued, looking at me. There were indeed some issues with your file. One payment of over 70 yuan was mistakenly transferred to the wrong account. This was finance's mistake. The company will correct it as soon as possible. How? I asked. We'll retrieve the funds and transfer them to you. How long will that take? This needs to follow procedure. Procedure again. Trong, I said, I still have over 400 yuan that hasn't been reimbursed. What about that? Trong and Kai Vong exchanged a glance. That amount needs to be verified. Kai Vong said, you say it's 470.000, but our records don't match. We'll reconcile the numbers. I took a thick folder from my bag. These are all my business travel records from the past 3 years. I said, flights, hotels, meals, transportation, every expense has a photo of the invoice and a bank statement showing I paid it myself. I slid the folder across the table. A total of 312 expenses. Total amount, 478.352 yuan. I continued, your system shows that I submitted reimbursement applications totaling 285.348 yuan. The actual amount I've received is 0. Kai Lee flipped through the documents, her expression tightening. 2. This is a large sum. She said, we need time to verify it. How long? 1 week. Then I'll come back in a week. I stood up and took my folder back. And that termination agreement, I added, I won't sign it, at least not until the reimbursement issue is resolved. Trong's face darkened. 2. What exactly are you trying to do? Nothing, I said, looking straight at him. I just want my money back. Is that unreasonable? I didn't wait for his answer. I turned and walked out. Back at my desk, my phone rang. It was a call from Tong Jiam Doc Tran, my client. 2. I heard you're leaving the company? I was laid off. The process isn't finished yet. She sighed. Your company really is something. I just wanted to tell you, the final payment for the project has already been transferred on schedule. If your side has any issues, call me directly. Thank you, Tong Tran. She lowered her voice. And listen, if you do end up leaving, are you thinking about changing environments? I know some people in the industry. I could introduce you. Thank you, I appreciate it. I hung up and leaned back in my chair. Tong Tran was the first major client I had brought in on my own. 3 years ago, I chased her for 6 months. 12 solo flights to Guangzhou before I finally signed the contract. An 8 million yuan project. The highest profit margin order of the year. Back then, my boss had said, 2, you've made a major contribution. Your year-end bonus will be 30.000. Old Chu from sales, who hadn't closed a single deal, got 50.000. Because he was a long-term employee. Because they needed to retain him. I should have seen it then. This company never distributed money based on contribution. It was based on relationships. A week later, Kai Lee called me right on time. 2. Come by the company. We have a resolution regarding the reimbursement. When I entered the conference room, it was the same 3 people, Trong, Kai Lee, and Kai Vong. The only difference was an additional person from legal, Shu, wearing glasses, looking fairly young. 2. Have a seat, Trong said. This is Chu from legal. He'll be joining the discussion. I sat down. We've reviewed the documents you provided last time, Trong said, his tone noticeably more polite. The numbers all match. The issue lies with the company's internal process. On behalf of everyone, I apologize. I said nothing. The company's current proposal is this. He continued, the 470.000 yuan you advanced will be reimbursed in installments. The first payment of 100.000 will be transferred next week. The remaining 370.000 will be divided evenly over 12 months. No. I cut him off. What? I don't accept installment payments. I said, I want the full amount paid at once. Trong's expression turned ugly. 2. You know the company is currently under cash flow pressure. We've just laid off a large number of employees. Trong, I said, looking at him, I don't know whether the company is truly struggling or not. But this 470.000 yuan is money I saved 1 yuan at a time over 3 years. I paused. My monthly take-home pay was 15.000. Mortgage 4.000. Living expenses 3.000. Everything else went into work. I continued. Every business trip, I paid up front because I trusted the company would reimburse me on time. Now the company wants to stretch that repayment over 12 months. Do you think that's fair? Trong was silent. Chu from legal spoke up. From a legal standpoint, he said, the company is indeed obligated to reimburse all expenses. But if the company is genuinely facing difficulties, an installment plan could be considered a reasonable solution. I hope you'll think it over. I already have, I said, cutting him off. I don't agree. Then how do you want to resolve this? Chu asked. I have 2 options for the company. I took 2 documents from my bag. Option 1. The company pays the full 470.000 yuan in one lump sum. Along with severance compensation according to N+1. I sign the termination agreement. Complete the handover. And we part ways amicably. I slid the first folder across the table. Option 2. I file a claim with the Labor Arbitration Committee. Demanding full reimbursement, N+1 compensation, and interest for delayed payment. I pushed the second folder forward. This is the complaint. All evidence has already been compiled. It can be submitted at any time. The conference room was silent for 5 seconds. Trong's face flushed red. 2. Are you threatening the company? Not a threat, I replied. I'm giving you a choice. I stood up. Today is Monday. You have until Friday. Before close of business on Friday. Let me know your decision. If there's no response, I'll file on Monday. I picked up my bag. Oh, right, I added. All project documents, client records, and email correspondence from the past 3 years have been backed up. If you don't want to handle this properly, I don't mind letting more people know how this company treats its employees. I didn't wait for Trong to finish speaking. I pushed the door open and walked out. Outside the company gate, I took a deep breath. My palms were soaked with sweat. It wasn't that I wasn't afraid. I was just more afraid of being treated like an idiot, bullied endlessly. I walked to the subway station, found a corner seat, and called my father. Dad, I need to tell you something. What is it? I was laid off. I'm negotiating with the company to get what I'm owed. I might have to sue. There was silence on the other end for a few seconds. Is it serious? Not serious, I said, but I'll need some time to deal with it. Don't worry. I understand, my father said calmly. Do you need money? No. That's good. He paused. My daughter, if something needs to be fought for, then fight for it. You can't let people bully you. Yes. I hung up and sat there for a long time. I rarely talked about work with my family. I didn't want them to worry. But this time, I suddenly realized that some things didn't need to be carried alone. Tuesday passed. No contact from the company. Wednesday, still silence. Thursday afternoon, Kai Lee called. 2. Come to the company tomorrow at 10. Do you have a solution? Yes. She hesitated. The solution you want. At 10 on Friday morning. We were back in the same conference room. The same people, plus one more. The deputy CFO. Tong Lu. I had never met him before. I had only heard of him, the company's number 2. Overseeing finance and administration, rarely appearing in person. 2. Please have a seat. Tong Lu said gently, with professional politeness. We invited you today to put an end to this matter. I sat down without speaking. The company did mishandle certain things, he said, looking at me. The reimbursement of 470 yuan will be transferred in a single payment. This is the detailed statement printed by finance. Please review it. He slid a sheet toward me. I lowered my head. The numbers matched exactly. As for severance, he continued, the company agrees to pay according to N+1. You worked here for 3 years and 6 months, rounded to 3.5 years. That equals 3.5 months of salary. Your monthly salary before tax was 21.000. Correct, I said. That comes to 73.500 yuan. I didn't respond. Together, the total amount is 551.852 yuan. Tong Lu looked at me. The company will transfer the money to your account before 6 p.m. today. I nodded. There's one more thing, he said, pausing slightly. I've heard that you've kept copies of some company documents. I looked at him. 2. He continued, those documents involve trade secrets. I hope you understand, if they were leaked, it wouldn't benefit either side. Tong Lu, I said calmly, I have no intention of threatening the company. I know, he replied, you just want your money back. Yes. I understand those documents are the results of your work. And also your personal copies. I said, I won't use them to harm the company. But if the company doesn't keep its word, I won't hesitate to use legal means to protect myself. Tong Lu looked at me. There was something in his eyes I couldn't read. 2. He said, you're a very smart person. I didn't respond. Then let's do this, he said, standing up. This is the agreement. Read it carefully. If there are no issues, sign it. The money will be transferred this afternoon. I took the agreement and read it page by page. Reason for termination. Business adjustment. Termination method. Mutual agreement. Severance compensation. 73.500 yuan. Expense reimbursement. 478.352 yuan. Transfer deadline. Before 6 p.m., May 15, 2024. Confidentiality clause. Neither party may make public statements damaging the other's reputation. Non-compete. None. After finishing, I picked up the pen and signed. As I left the conference room, Kai Li hurried after me. 2. Her voice was noticeably gentler than before. This really wasn't me trying to make things difficult for you. I looked at her. I know. She hesitated. Are you planning to look for another job? Yes. Do you need any help? I know a few people in the industry. No need. I didn't wait for her to finish. At 5:47 p.m., a bank notification popped up. Account ending 8872. Received transfer, 551.852.00 yuan. Time, 17:47. May 15th. Current balance, 562.341.67 yuan. I stared at the numbers for a long time. 551.000. 3 years of swallowed grievances. Overtime, advances paid out of pocket, endless waiting, being passed around, being deceived. All of it reduced to a string of digits. I didn't know whether I should feel happy or sad. That evening, I treated my parents to hot pot. My mother laughed, picking up a slice of tripe. You're generous today. Everything settled at work? It's settled. And the next job? I'm looking. Don't rush, my father said. If it's a good fit, take it. If not, don't force it. I know. After dinner, I walked my parents home, then slowly walked back alone. The March night was still cold. I pulled my coat tighter and walked under the streetlights. My phone buzzed. A WeChat message from Tom Tran. 2. I heard your situation is resolved. Yes, I just signed the agreement today. So what are you planning next? I'm going to rest a few days, then look for new opportunities. What a coincidence, she replied, followed by a voice message. A friend of mine works in new energy. They just closed their Series B and are hiring. If you're interested, I can introduce you. I froze. What position? Sales director, managing a team of 10. Compensation? Base salary doubled, plus commission. I stood under the streetlight, staring at the words doubled. At my old company, in 3 years, I had only received one raise, 500 yuan. My boss had said, the company isn't doing well this year. You should be grateful there's a raise at all. Please understand. I had understood for 3 years. Tong Tran, I typed, I'd like to meet. Okay, I'll set it up for you tomorrow. By the end of March, I joined the new company. A new energy firm, freshly closed Series B valued at 300 million. My title was Regional Sales Director, responsible for East China, managing a team of 12. On my first day, HR gave me a tour of the office. Open plan space, floor-to-ceiling windows, plenty of greenery, a break room with a coffee machine and a snack cabinet. This is the sales area. HR pointed to a row of desks in the corner. Your team sits here. Thank you. After HR left, I stood among the desks, looking at the young faces. They looked back at me curiously, some whispering. Hello, everyone, I said. I'm Tahu, the new regional director. Feel free to talk to me anytime. Hello, Director 2, a chorus of voices replied. I smiled and walked to my desk. A brand new laptop sat there, along with an employee handbook and a nameplate. I opened the handbook. Article 1. Reimbursement process. I paused, then kept reading. Business travel expenses reimbursed within 3 working days after submission. Expenses over 5 yuan reimbursed within 5 working days after managerial approval. Hotel cap. 500 yuan per night in Tier 1 and Tier 2 cities. Meals. 100 yuan per day. Transportation reimbursed according to actual invoices. I stared at that page for a long time. 3 working days. At my old company, I had waited 3 years. In April, I went on my first business trip. Nanjing, meeting a client, project budget, 12 million, the first major contract I took over at the new company. Before I left, the administrative assistant called me. Director 2, I've already booked your flight and hotel. You booked everything? Yes, we'll collect the invoices. When you're back, just submit the form. You paid through the company? Yes, we have a corporate travel platform. Flights and hotels are charged to the company account. You don't need to advance anything. I paused. What about meals? You can advance meals for now. Submit the invoice when you're back. The money will be reimbursed in 3 days. Thank you. I hung up and sat in my office for a long time. No need to advance flight or hotel costs. Such a simple thing, my old company had never managed it. The Nanjing meetings lasted 3 days. On the last day, the client confirmed cooperation. Director 2, said Tong Lu from the client's side, shaking my hand. Your company is very efficient. I negotiated with others for half a year and got nowhere. You wrapped it up in 3 days. As long as the client is satisfied, I said. Next is the contract process? Yes, we'll send it as soon as possible. After seeing the client off, I returned to the hotel to pack. My phone rang. It was Tong Tran again. I heard Nanjing is closed? Yes. Impressive. You've only been there a month and already closed a big deal. Just luck. Luck is part of ability, she replied, sending a smiling emoji. When you have time, come to Guangzhou. I'll treat you to dinner. Sure. I put the phone down and looked out the window. Nanjing was quiet at night. I suddenly remembered the last time I had been here, 2 years ago. I was still at the old company. The client cancelled the meeting at the last minute. I waited 2 days in the hotel, paying the ticket change fee and accommodation myself. When I got back, my boss said, the cancellation was because you didn't confirm properly. You'll have to bear the travel costs this time. I hadn't argued. I thought the company must be right. Now I realized how stupid that was. In May, my team signed 3 projects. East China's revenue jumped to first place company-wide. At the end of month all-hands meeting, the CEO personally praised us. This month, sales performed exceptionally well, especially East China. Tahu's team signed 18 million in 1 month. That's the highest record since the company was founded. Applause thundered through the room. I stood in the corner, expressionless. After the meeting, my boss pulled me aside. I know, you've done very well. He looked at me. Next quarter, there's a promotion slot, from regional director to deputy head of sales. You're one of the candidates. Thank you. Keep it up. I nodded and walked out. Deputy head of sales, 3 regions, over 50 employees. At my old company, I couldn't even get deputy manager. In June, during the Dragon Boat Festival holiday, the company took 3 days off. I didn't go home, I stayed alone in my rental. My phone buzzed. A WeChat message from Tu Lam, my former colleague. Happy Dragon Boat Festival, sister too. You too. By the way, there's something I wanted to tell you. He sent a voice message. Did you know? Last month the company had another round of layoffs. 30% this time. I froze. Trong is gone too. Trong? He left? Yeah, apparently he didn't meet KPI and got optimized. What about Kai Vong in finance? Still there, but I heard she might be next. I didn't reply. Where are you working now? Sister too? Is the new company treating you well? It's okay. That's good. Tu Lam sighed. When you left, I already thought you were really strong. I hung up and stood on the balcony for a long time. Trong, the man who once told me, your ability is really questionable, had also been laid off. I didn't know whether to feel satisfied or amused. Maybe that's how the workplace is. The people who bully you today might end up worse off tomorrow. In July, I received a call. Hello, is this Ms. Tu? Yes, speaking. I'm from the Labor Arbitration Committee of District 20. There's a case involving you that requires your cooperation. I paused. What case? It concerns a reimbursement from your time at Company 20. We've discovered that over 70 yuan was mistakenly transferred into another individual's account. The account holder's name is Li, redacted. I remembered immediately. The account Kai Vong had pulled up that day. Who is this person? The investigator asked. We're still investigating, but preliminarily, we suspect embezzlement of company funds. I took a deep breath. What do I need to do? Provide evidence. The invoices and bank statements you kept earlier, please organize and submit them. In August, I went to the Labor Arbitration Committee and submitted all the documentation. After reviewing the materials, the investigator's expression became complicated. Ms. Tu, he said, your documentation is extremely complete. He paused. To be honest, several former employees from Company 20 have reported similar cases. Yours may only be the tip of the iceberg. What do you mean? The account under the name Li, redacted, didn't just receive your reimbursement. He said. According to preliminary statistics, over the past 3 years, more than 2 million yuan has been transferred into that account. I froze. 2 million? Yes, he looked at me. You could say that your resignation unintentionally exposed a major loophole in the company. I sat there, silent for a long time. 2 million. If I hadn't insisted on getting my money back. If I had quietly signed the agreement and walked away. That money might never have been discovered. By September, the weather had begun to cool. I sat in the meeting room of my new company, listening as my boss announced the promotion list. Deputy Head of Sales, to Hugh. Applause erupted around me. I stood up, nodded toward my boss. Thank you, everyone. After the meeting, colleagues gathered around to congratulate me. Sister too, that's amazing. Congratulations. Dinner's on you tonight. I laughed. All right, tonight, we celebrate. As I stepped out of the meeting room, I stopped in front of the floor-to-ceiling windows, looking out over the distant city. 6 months. It had taken me only 6 months. From someone labeled a failure for being laid off, to deputy head of sales. My phone vibrated, a WeChat message from Kai Li H from my old company. 2. Do you have time to talk for a bit? I hesitated, then replied with a single word, sure. You've probably heard about what's happening with the company, right? What happened? Finance is in trouble, several people are under investigation, Kai Vong included, and a deputy CEO. I didn't reply. Things are chaotic right now. Everyone's panicking. I just wanted to ask, is your lawsuit still ongoing? My case? I typed back. I've already received all my money. There's nothing left to sue over. That's good, she replied, followed by a relieved emoji. I was just afraid you were still angry with the company. I cut her off. I'm not angry at anyone. I just wanted my money back. I understand. I understand. Anything else? No, nothing else. I put my phone down and kept looking out the window. Angry? No. I wasn't angry at all. I had simply learned one thing. No one in this world truly looks out for you. If you don't speak up, no one knows you're being wronged. If you're not firm, you'll always be the one bullied. October, National Day holiday. I went back to my hometown. My mother cooked a full table of dishes. My father opened a good bottle of liquor. My daughter, he said, raising his glass. This year hasn't been easy. You've worked hard. I clinked glasses with him. It wasn't that hard. How's the new company? My mother asked. Everything good? It's good. My colleagues are great. That's good, she said, placing a piece of braised pork into my bowl. Eat more. You've lost weight. I lowered my head and ate without saying much. After dinner, my father and I sat on the balcony. The night breeze was cool. The sky was full of stars. My daughter, he said suddenly. Let me tell you something. What is it? That old company of yours, something happened. I froze. How do you know? It was on the news. He replied. Financial fraud. They're under investigation. I stayed silent. You left because of that, didn't you? More or less. He nodded, quiet for a moment. Then he said, remember this. What? If people treat you badly, you can endure it, but not forever. He looked at me. Your mother always says you're stubborn. I don't think so. Being stubborn is sometimes the right thing. I looked at him. Under the light, his face had grown wrinkled. I know. In November, news about my old company broke publicly. CFO Vong of Company 20 and Deputy CEO Liu of Company 20 under investigation for suspected embezzlement. Amount involved, 4.12 million yuan. I stared at the headline and remembered what Kai Vong once told me. Your reimbursement records were lost. Lost. What was lost wasn't my paperwork, it was their conscience. December, year-end bonuses. I opened my payslip. After-tax bonus, 280 yuan. For the first time in my life, my year-end bonus exceeded 100.000. I put my phone down and leaned back in my chair. A year ago, at this exact time, I had been comforting myself over a 30.000 bonus. 1 year later, my bonus was 9 times that. Not because I had suddenly become more capable, but because I had finally learned one thing. Don't waste time on terrible people. At the year-end company gala, the list of outstanding employees was announced. Outstanding sales team, East China region. Team lead, Hu. I stood and walked onto the stage. Bright lights, thunderous applause. Holding the trophy, I looked at the young faces below. Thank you, I said into the microphone. This year, our team achieved a lot. But I think the most important thing isn't how many contracts we signed, or how much revenue we made. I paused. It's that every one of us learned how to respect ourselves. The hall went quiet. Expenses should be reimbursed on time. Overtime should be paid. Time off should use leave days, not be exchanged. These may sound like small things, I said. But they're our rights, not favors from the company. I looked at them. If the company doesn't respect you, you must respect yourself. If your boss doesn't value you, you must value yourself. That's the biggest lesson I learned this year. I put the microphone down. Applause erupted again, louder than before. After the party, I stood outside waiting for my ride. A young colleague ran over. Sister to, what you said earlier? She looked at me, eyes bright. I'll remember it. That's good. Can I ask you something? Go ahead. Were you ever bullied by a company before? I looked at her. She was still very young, childlike features. Sincere eyes. Yes, I said. Then, how did you get through it? I thought for a moment. There's nothing special, I said. Just remember one thing. What? What belongs to you? Not a single cent less. She froze, then laughed. I'll remember that. The car arrived. I got in and waved. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. As the car moved forward, I leaned back and looked out at the night. A full year had passed. From the day I was laid off to now. I suddenly remembered what Trong once said in that meeting room. Xiao Tu, you really have a problem with your ability. No. My ability was never the problem. The problem was a company that didn't respect employees. The problem was people who used others and discarded them like objects. I don't hate them. I just feel lucky that I left. At midnight, New Year's bells rang. I stood on the balcony, watching fireworks bloom in the distance. My phone buzzed. A message from Tom Tran. Happy New Year, Xiao Tu. You worked hard this year. Happy New Year, Tom Tran. I'll work even harder next year. I'm sure you will. I put the phone down and took a deep breath. A new year had begun. I didn't know what would happen next. But one thing was certain. I would never let anyone treat me badly again. 300 days of business trips. 470 yuan advanced. 2 years of waiting. Countless nights of overtime. That was the price I paid. And that price taught me one thing. Don't place your hopes on others. Don't expect companies to treat you well on their own. Don't believe endurance will earn respect. What you want, you must claim yourself. Your grievances, you must speak up for. Your rights, you must fight for. The world won't be gentle just because you're kind. Only when you're firm. Will it return to you what you deserve. The fireworks faded. I smiled softly and turned back inside. Work again tomorrow. A new year. A new beginning. That's the end of today's story. If you enjoyed it, please like the video, subscribe to China Story Tales, and stay tuned for more stories.